Well, hello there again. It's Veronica Bartolini on Codebreaker Real Talk. And today I'm so excited because again, I have Tom Althouse part 4. They did take down part 3. Like I said before, if you want that from my hard drive, I will send it to your email. Just send me your email. We have Kelly Coffee, Kelly in the Raw. We have Andrew Woldridge. How do you say your name, Andrew?
You got it right, Woldridge.
Thank you. And Eve Howard. And we're waiting for Corey, and who knows, maybe another 2 people will show up. But today's topic pretty much is the attack on the heart, bloodlines, and drum roll for Tom. You had said, what are we going to title our show?
Oh, I said, true. What did we say? Survivors never look so good.
Yeah. Survival. So you kind of been going through the same thing I've been going through, right?
I'm telling you, we can do a whole fashion line for survivors, a whole new fashion line styled out and everything. Got your survivors watch? Yeah.
If Marianne Padro is watching, I'm doing a collab with her on fashion and stuff. Maybe we can do one all together.
Oh my God. Yeah, I had this idea, not to take it away, but human flage. Human flage is every type of skin tone you can as camouflage. So you blend in.
That. I love that, actually.
You can blend it, yeah, human flage.
Because we are a melting pot. Callie Coffee, your makeup looks adorbs. What up today? You can unmute yourself, ma'am.
Sorry about that. Thank you. I did a live this morning. I did my makeup, and I started to do my eyebrows, and I'm like, this looks like I'm still in the 80s. So I looked at 2022, like eyebrows and stuff. So these are 2022, the eyebrows.
I love them, darling. Mine used to be just a line.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, you're no problem. I'm trying to say, I don't like to say you're welcome. You know why, right? Because when you have a welcome mat outside, or you say you're welcome to somebody, that it means you're welcoming them and their archons or whatever's attached to them. So anyway, Andrew is back on social media. I saw a video yesterday that you did, Andrew, and it reminded me of when people ask me, well, how did you know what you were going to do in life, or how did you find your mission? All I know is that when I was a little kid, I knew that I was going to be on stage. Like, I had a lot of dreams of being a teacher in auditorium. Of course, you know, I used to watch a lot of Star Trek and stuff. I didn't know back then I was in these programs, but I always loved the army stuff, the wars, that were going on. And I'm like, man, I want a ship one day. What if I can, I would watch the Lost of the Land, or Land of the Lost, with the dinosaurs and the ETs and stuff. But anyway, I want you, Andrew, to take the lead on this, and then you all can go, and then I'll go last. Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Andrew.
Sure. So if people are wondering what their mission is or their purpose, I've just seen a lot, like you had said, people ask you, I've seen a lot of people asking different, I guess, leaders or creators in the community on social media. And I just felt called to post about that because I saw it so much, and it has to come from you. And I think that's just a good example of something that you can ask other people, but they won't have an answer for you. I think it's, it goes out to other things in life, but that's just one thing that's so central, I think, to most people, especially as they're breaking out of the matrix that we're talking about, and they realize, well, my job is not my purpose. Being a student is not my purpose. So what is, why am I here? Especially starseeds or people that do have trauma, especially from the SSP or alternate dimensions or states of consciousness. I think it's hard to kind of put all of it together because we're taught the opposite, that like your purpose is going to be a title. Your purpose is you can put it in a sentence, you can put it on LinkedIn, like under your name, and your bio is your thing. And obviously that's not it. So now people are looking to like fill that. And I don't think it has to be definable per se, But whatever it is to you, I think definitely has to come from the heart and not from your mind or from what other people are, projecting on you. So
Yes, Andrew.
that's what the video was about.
I think you said something. Was it you that said, when you find out that there's like so many sergeants already. They already have enough.
Oh yeah, we don't need more bankers. We don't need more. It's like how many professions, like you were talking about when you were a kid and in school, like how many professional options do they give you, and how many people are there? Like as many people as there are on Earth, that's how many purposes and missions there are, because it's not going to be the same for everyone.
I'm glad you said.
So yeah, we don't need more professional anything.
Thank you for saying that, Andrew, because I wanted to be, and I still want to be everything, and I am. And the teachers would say, well, you have to focus on one thing. I'm like, I'm a musician, I'm an artist, I'm this, I'm that, I'm good at that, I'm good at everything. I had a hard time with geometry and stuff like that, but I felt like I was forced. Once you force something, Tom, I want you to talk about that too, and everybody. When you're forced to do something, it's not gonna go. It's how do they say in English? Square peg in a round. No puedes poner una naranja con una manzana. It doesn't go together. Something like that.
Well, I mean, it shuts off the flow. I mean, that creative flow is very, very important. Not to use a lingo thing, but I mean, when you get a flow going, artists know what that means. It's like it's running, and you're laughing and you're thrilling and you're enjoying that flow of creativity. And that's when it connects, and that's when it's Mozart plus. But if you're told to do something and it's one layer, one level, you shut down the machine. You shut down the flow. You shut down that joyride. It's not going to happen. And a lot of times artists are discovering now that they wait for the timing when it's the timing chosen for them, when it happens for them naturally. And then you ride that wave like a surfer on fire. That's when it's happening. That's how the screenplays come and the art and all that stuff. And like you said about professions, we're offered, like you both said it, professions and stuff. And what we're offered in school and stuff, really what we should have is crossover fields where we get to do many different things at the same time. They don't do that. They do one thing. Well, if we're going to advance as a society and as beings, we need to be able to play the piano, not the one note Johnny. So yeah.
Thank you, Tom. And we ride that wave or we fall off the chair. Inside joke, right? A lot of people, I was listening to the Dark Journalist the other day, and he brought up a very important point where in China, he talked about China, how the people there have, some of the people that have the hands-on, the trades, are like savants. I call myself Bodhisattva. I don't know if I said it right or not. Whatever. I don't really like to put labels, but they were so scared. You know who they are, were so scared of them that they put them like in kind of like camps. The H word that ends with a T, right? And because their abilities. Okay. And what I noticed is that a lot of people are forced through the programs to go to college, to go to university, to become, pastors, lawyers, doctors, the elite, maybe adjacent, if that. And they are forced to shut down their mind as far as creativity, because I noticed when I was going to the university, I was taking like 16, whatever, how many credits, maybe that, and then some, because I had extracurricular activities, the Philharmonic Orchestra, Tucson, all that stuff that I wanted to do. And I feel like what they do to the kids is they work them so much on their left hemisphere brain that they don't let their right brain creativity sink, much less having them use their pineal gland, which that is where our gifts pretty much are, right?
Yeah, they kill the joy too. It's like you can't create if you don't have the joy. And they say that depression and going through rough times makes the best art. It does not. it's really when you're happy and flowing and loving it and giving to society and loving that your kids are going to enjoy that's a good kids. It's like, yeah, that's when it's happening. But no, not when you're depressed or angry or feeling cut off or upset or threatened. That's not working. And yeah, so you have to have that song. You have to have that like experience where you're sharing your joy, basically, and sharing it. The idea of serving humanity and lifting humanity. We all lift each other up. It's very, very important. It's almost like in school, they give you pre-chewed gum and they ask you the flavor and it's stale. It's nothing good there at all. It's like, let us have our own gum. Let us create our own flavors. And that's a lot of levels to it and everything like that. I don't want your pre-chewed stuff. And then we just spit it out. And if we don't, we get an A if we spit it out and say it exactly the way they want us to say it, you know? So no.
True. Even I were talking yesterday or the day before about creating. And, you know, Eve, what was it that you said specifically?
When? Sorry.
A few days ago, we were talking about just letting it flow, the artwork, the, you know, just letting your kids be who they are. I mean, yeah, I kind of get that we kind of have to have maybe some rules, some house rules, but I don't know. I just let my kids play, you know. Yes, when they got a little older, I did like a chart where I had them give them stars for helping me do like the dishes or whatever. And then at the end of 2 weeks or a month, we would you know, get little toys or whatever. Let me take this call. It's Corey. Go ahead, Eve.
Well, I know one thing, my 12-year-old, I started teaching her to read, and she was about 3. And now she's self-taught on oils and acrylics and watercolors and sketching, and amazing. She just makes brilliant art. She's only 12 right now. She's also a really talented starseed as well. Just like smart, like I thought I was smart, but she's surpassed me, definitely. So I'm like really proud of her, and a lot of the things that she does, she is able to paint solar systems, and able to paint like you know, different alien species that she's actually been able to talk with and stuff. So she's really amazing, and I'm super proud to be her mom. Very lucky indeed. But the one thing that I was going to say, Tom, was when you were saying definitely well, the one thing that goes through my mind is I have to constantly speak my truth. And that's important for all of us, because, you know, you can hear things that other people say, and, you know, you can become like this parrot where you're like mimicking everything that you hear, or you can just interpret and take a little bit here and take a little bit there and then add it, and it becomes your truth. And then when you speak it, you know, it rings, it resonates with you.
That's so important, because it's like there's always this pressure, even from littlehood up. Like I make words up, littlehood. So like childhood up. And it's like this idea that if those that are stoic basically and go by the rule book or whatever completely and one layer thinking, they are unhappy if we're shining basically. And we have to decide, are we going to have them unhappy and light up the rest of us that are actually multi-layered, or are we going to go ahead and make them happy? And I actually went through that contract process in my mind when I was little. I don't want to upset anybody, make anybody unhappy. But it's like, no, let's shine for those that are creators and have freed up. They're usually the ones that carry compassion, aren't about power and competition all the time. And so really we go to a thought process, I think, a lot of times of, are we going to make these other people sad? What, by being creative and shining and succeeding and by helping others, creating great work, operas, things like this. Okay, they're going to be sad. Yeah, be sad. If that's your choice to be sad, because we will celebrate others. We'll celebrate other success. If you can't do that, other guys, then be sad. It's your choice. And I wish I had that decision at a young age, because I'd gone the opposite way of, I don't want to upset these people. I'm getting too many awards. I'm shining too much. I'm excelling in every different area. And it was like you were saying, you know, it's like, and yeah, I wish I'd go back in time, shake myself a bit and say, Tommy, don't worry about what they think. These other people here that are quiet and sweet, they deserve to be worked with and succeed together. So yeah.
They do. And Tom, I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people are not used to compliments. Yesterday I went to Circle K. I had to get gas real quick before I got home, and there was a person who he was the cashier, and he had on beautiful makeup, like not too much. He did his hair, and then I said, "Wow, I love your makeup," and he's like, "Oh gosh, I tried so hard and it didn't come out right." And I'm like, "You know what? It looks really good on you," and it did. And then I said, "Are those your eyes or are you wearing contacts?" "Oh no, they're my eyes." They were like really like beautiful greenish, maybe like an aqua blue green. And he goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm not used to these compliments." And I go, "You know what?" I said, and I looked at him right in the eyes and I said, "When you're a starseed and you're looking for your family and you know who you are and you see the light in another starseed," I go, "you got to just let yourself shine. You just got to be yourself," I told him. And I said, "There's a lot of Adam Henrys out there, you know what that means, that I don't even want to help save." And he's like, "You got that right." So he smiled, and it's like, I know when people, even certain people in the family, when I'm like too gushy and too cheesy and I'm just happy, oh, they want to bring you down like,
Absolutely.
I can't be around that. I am not sorry if you don't like me. I am not sorry if you don't like us as a Starseed family. I feel sorry for you because you have not found your true passion in life. You don't love yourself. And
See, that's good advice for the kids too, like Eve, you said about your daughter. It's like, it's so good to teach our kids to what we know now about circles we form and things like this, and to stay away from those naysayers and don't get bought into their circles that will just keep them under. It's like a chessboard where they always keep you the pawn. They always keep you on their chessboard set up in a certain hierarchy, and you're the lower echelon. You're not allowed to go up because that makes their world feel uncertain. So they keep you in certain places, and they actually have little kingdoms set up where you have your position. I don't want to be the page boy. I'd rather be the king and be with other kings and queens. That's what I want to do.
heck yes, we were born perfect. Fuimos nacidos perfectos. But what do? They give you the baby Jabberwocky. I make up names too, Tom. We all have. We have to make up names. We don't have to be in the standardized. This is the English version of the baby Jabberwocky.
That's right. That's why I always watch out for people to come and go, "You're my blah, blah, blah." And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not your blah, blah, blah.
Yes. And another thing, Tom, we don't give out our heart away anymore. I was talking to Tom on the phone about 2 weeks ago, right, Tom? And we agree that when we're in a relationship, we don't ever give our heart away. You have to guard your heart, because see, what happens is, I'm saying it from experience. Hola, Corey. I'm glad you're here. I was married, together 18 and a half years. And I did everything. I gave everything to this person and my kids. And I was everything. And then when the divorce happened, I went 9 years depressed. I gained so much weight. I was weighing 271. I was sick, getting epidural shots. I was on, I don't know how many kinds of medications they had, one to sleep, one to wake up, racing thoughts, blah, blah, blah. It was horrible. CPAP, you name it. And why? Because I let myself and my mind give my heart away. And I can't do that anymore. If you're in a relationship, you're not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be, you do your thing, she does her thing, whatever, but come together and have fun, not be pica, criticizing. No.
Well, open it up to the group. I want to open that up to the group.
Yes, you guys.
It's the idea of, I'm just glad you shared that, but what is it that conditions us that are nice people with compassion to give over our sovereignty and to feel like we have to invest in a relationship such that we're giving our all, is the phrase. It's like, what is the right way or a better way? And what causes us that are kind to do that? What in society, is it Disney? What causes us to always go down this path? It seems when we're nice, we always give away everything to make it a great relationship. And it's like, if you know what I'm talking about.
Well, I think some of it is a lot of people that had had some turmoil as a child crave like praise and acceptance, and like we almost get like addicted to wanting to have the approval of others. And then when someone is that close to you and you feel that approval, you become kind of a junkie to it. And then when it starts to fade away, it's like chasing the dragon. You want to go after it more and more and more and more. I don't know if I'm putting it in the exact terms, but I think something to that effect, where you can tie it back into like your own self-esteem or your own ability to love yourself or your own confidence in yourself. When you start looking to someone else to fulfill that void, then you're putting, like Vero was saying, you've given something away that is incredibly vulnerable, and that no one can treat like you would treat it yourself in the best case scenario.
Yeah, because that's one aspect of it too, because we all come from different platforms where some of us are needing that attention. Some of us are actually just wanting to create a wonderful sphere of love and family and relationships. And it's like, I found myself when I had the honeypot wife, which I think we defined honeypot wife. And I was just amusing myself. I was writing down all these things for talking in the books and interviews and things about honeypot wives, because people are asking what they are. And they usually are ex-cons who are taught military training, and they come in like nuns that are innocent if you're the man. And that's what I had, this woman who was, and she's, just give an example real quick, not to take away from the subject, but here's an example because it's humorous. I had taught self-defense and everything, and I learned all these things, and here I am 195, 6'2", right? And this woman is the honeypot wife provided by Disney, Mike Lang by Disney, and she comes to me and she's saying how she's pristine and hasn't had any training or anything, so I go to show her. So I'm going to show her self-defense. She put me right on the ground right away. It was like Smith versus Smith. She couldn't resist off her skills. And then I did the wrist thing. Okay, here's a wrist thing, how you get out of it. She was like, free. And I couldn't get free from her. So they give you people who are stronger, trained, who pretend they're not, like Smith versus Smith. And it was comical because I'm like, holy God, and it's like, that's what they send you, is powerful ex-cons to be honeypot wives. I guess because they feel safe. And it's just, it could be a movie on itself.
I have to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Because mine, he would choke me out all the time, and I'm like, oh, I pass out, and I'm like, and then he would bring me back. I'm like, F, so I learned.
Yeah, the competitive spirit doesn't leave them. The competitive spirit, they blow their cover that way. Because you can imagine my experience thinking like, I'm going to help her learn self-defense. And it's like, bam, and I'm like down on the ground. I'm like, holy crap, how did you do that? It's like, I'm like, God. And it was like, I could not. And she's like, I'm like, I can't get free. They said this would work, It's like,
is it a prerequisite of this group to have had a violent ex?
I don't know. I mean, we're all, it's part of the strategy of the playbook of the other side. But it's like, I found myself, like, gaslighting is part of the thing they do too. At first they love you, they can't do without you. Then they're like, you suck at everything. And it's like, suddenly that's how it goes, it totally turns around. But it's like, I ended up trying to practice for the woman I'd be with in the future. So I just bought her candy and she'd throw it out. I buy her flowers, she'd set them aside. I'm like, I'm going to keep practicing because I'm going to be good for the next woman. And I do her back. And she's like, that's enough.
Tom,
like,
send them to me. Send them to me. I'll receive your flowers.
I turned it into practice sessions, and I learned self-defense from her, even though she admitted she didn't know. It's like, yeah.
Andrew, have you had any experiences, or are you too young still?
No, I'm good to go. I'm happy. I'm like, yeah. But I mean, I was like shell-shocked. I'm like, what the hell? I'm not gonna teach her anything again. But yeah, I bring her flowers and candy. It's like, boom, just gone, but I'm not gonna keep practicing. I'll be good for the next person. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
You know what happened real quick, Andrew, so with me, I only got flowers twice in the 18.5 years. So it was the other way around.
There's 20 trash cans of them. You can have them. They're yeah.
I'll make potpourri out of them, baby.
There you go, girl. How to make lemon out of, no, that's stupid. I just said it totally wrong. How to make lemon out of lemonade. Yeah, everybody wants to buy that book. Okay, got it.
I say that too sometimes. I'm like, wait, I suck at jokes, man. I'm like, don't even put me on the platform for jokes when we're gonna do our huge thing with Corey, right, Corey? We're gonna have a presentation, whether it's on Zoom or on stage. Don't put me on the joke segment.
Well, I want to follow up the question with you. I'm not meaning to take over hosthood, but I'm just gonna say, I'm just saying, what is the right approach to the relationship if you're a caring, loving person like we all are, and a sense of humor? So I think you just fall into it. Andrew, I want to hear what you have to say. Really, I'm not the host, but I'm going to point it right to you because you look like you're bubbling.
No, I would say to your question and to Veronica's question first, I did at the end of high school, and I was like, I'm good for a while. But yeah, for your question, Tom, I would say with anything else in life, let go. I think our society, and like Veronica put in the chat, music industry, and we're talking about Disney and stuff, it's this like attachment, I think, and I connect a lot with Buddhism, and so like the attachment I think is a big problem. And a lot of people, it has its own issues, but a lot of people are going more towards like polyamory and stuff. And I just think it doesn't, and that doesn't have to work for everybody, but just lessening the expectations and the holds on people, or at least communicating what those are, because I feel like a lot of people don't even communicate. They're afraid because they go into it afraid that they're going to lose the person. So then they're afraid to communicate what they need or want from that person, and vice versa. And so I think
makes sense. Yeah, no expectations.
That's what I
let it happen naturally. I'm starting to work on a musical because I write musicals for kids and things like that. And it's about the anti-Disney philosophy. So the one song is about I want to be a princess. It's like, instead of having that dream that your prince will come someday, it's like I don't have to worry about that at all. It's like, I'm like, someday if somebody deserves me, they'll be there.
Yeah, and it's always like a savior thing, which goes back to organized religion, but it's never like two people, regardless of gender or anything, but two people or multiple people coming together, or even a group or a family coming together because they want to build something even better. It's always one person it's needing, or and it's fulfill my needs.
You are
instead
good.
of
You're good. That's what I was, a lifeguard Tom. I was trying to save everybody. So it's like the person that's
I was the same way, trying to save people.
Perfect for me. The person that's drowning has a knife and a gun. It's like,
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yes.
That's good. Hey, that was helpful. Thank you, Dr. Andrew. All right, I'll give it up. Give it up to you guys. Hello.
Sorry, that was my mom. I had to take the call. My mom is always, first. Anyway.
The cat's turning the lightsaber on. I have a lightsaber by me and it keeps going off because the cat knows how to work it now.
How cute.
Yeah, she's turning it on. She's got this little sparkly collar. She keeps turning it on while they're in the interview. Sorry about that. So you're hearing
that's so cute.
You
got one cat or two?
One cat, one hamster named Bear, and then the fish behind me. Yeah.
I was thinking of getting a hamster, but I don't know. I have two cats. Kelly, come on. You've been too quiet. Kelly's next. Sorry, John.
Speaking when spoken to. I'm just kidding. I'm learning. This is awesome. Hearing different perspectives, different points of view. I really think it's cool. Learning from each other that way. That's awesome. That was there a question for me? I'm sorry.
Kelly has her own show. Come on, Kelly. You talk so much on your show. And what about here? Come on. Do it.
This is Veronica's show. So
no, it's not my show. It's everybody's show.
There she goes again. Oh, sorry.
Well, I'll add to this. One of the biggest red flags is how critical, how encouraging someone can be. If you see someone show a real critical side real early, it's probably someone you don't want to get that close to. If you find that someone tends to be encouraging and generally forgiving and genuine in how they treat you, then keep moving forward. It's kind of simple, but I think it's so. Again, a lot of times I'm telling you, like people crave acceptance and crave encouragement so much, and it's almost like they want to prove they can get that encouragement and get that approval from a person. But when the pattern or trend or the experience is that person's highly critical, they're probably not going to change that pattern. So I think that's a big part of who you want to be close to or who you want to distance yourself from too. And from experience on that.
That's good that you said that. I was dating a guy one time and it was cool, but then he met my friends and he started talking crap about them in a funny way. And I'm like,
oh yeah.
What'd you say about her? Oh, hell no. He was done. Eve, where are you?
Yeah.
It seems like with all the smoke in the air and everything, with the fireworks, my throat gets like, so I had a coughing fit, so I had to turn off.
Oh,
So please excuse me. And then I set my coffee down somewhere and I had to go and find it.
Okay, Eb. So when do you tell the man step off in relationships? We're gonna talk about everything today, okay?
well, that's
Oh,
yeah.
Veronica, you know me. That's usually all the time that I tell them to step off. But I think it was I last had a relationship and it ended right before the pandemic. So I spent like the whole pandemic by myself with my kids, and I think it was like right after that ended, it was like Valentine's Day. And like, you know how everybody's like posting, oh, I got flowers and I got candy and I got this and I got that. And
Dude,
and
that's
I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to cry. I went out, I bought myself 12 dozen long stem roses.
Nice.
I bought myself candy. I went to the movies. I took myself out to dinner. And I've been focusing on myself for like the last 4 years. And as you know what, that's been the best relationship I've ever actually been in. So that's kind of where I am right now. I mean, if I can find somebody that is willing to allow me to be my own person and me to allow them to be their own person, then I'm willing to coexist in somebody's little strange world. But right now, I'm just kind of focusing on me and my daughter and you know, my career and everything else, you know, because it's almost like living a totally double life right now. And I don't know. I don't know where I'd be.
That's a really good segue, I think, into what I see as the God bubble type approach to things. It was like, this is your bubble, your business. take care of your own business, do your own thing, and leave other people's bubbles alone. And so yeah, that's kind of how I look at the process. But
That's really
like
cool, bubble
the
thing.
bubble.
I like that bubble thing because, like, for me, after having honeypot wives, I mean, that's been played as an author because of the piece, what it's worth. I'm like going like, when someone comes my way that's really right now, I'm like, that is so cool. That is so perfect. I don't want to wreck it, so I won't get in the relationship.
exactly.
Like leave it like that. I leave it at the start going,
Yeah,
yay, that was awesome. We connected. And I don't go any further because I
I
don't
know, me either.
I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk something great falling apart.
I know.
yeah, the programs I work, like the God bubble type of approach to these programs, because like from the avatar level, it's like, this is happening to me. From like a higher self type level, you're looking at as, oh, one little aspect of me is having a learning experience. From the God bubble level, it's like, I created all of this.
Like you're watching a play.
And it has no power over me, you know, when you're looking at it. So you're
Right.
looking at the same thing, just kind of from a different perspective.
That makes so much sense. Like you're watching a stage play. You're watching a play where you're in it. That
Yeah,
is
like you're in a
so
business.
cool.
Like,
Like you're managing your business.
True Man Show, just like the True Man Show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That is one of those moments that you see my head explode. It just went like, you just got the Matrix guy to go, wow. So that's going forward. Yeah. I just went
from the higher levels, and then you look down in the
then it becomes totally different. It's like you're the
there's like all this energy that's these programs and blocks and all, and from that higher level, if you will, you just take that out. From that level,
the next life, be my mom.
oh, thank you.
Get it right that time. I'll write the piece over.
I'll be your mommy. Spank.
Yay,
Okay,
two moms.
another show.
I got 2 moms.
That might have been two
Andrew, are
different
you on
contexts.
And Andrew could be my brother because he seems very cool. Okay.
Hey, Vero.
Yeah,
My
what up?
mom and I joke about that all the time. We're like, next time, like we're gonna switch roles next time. We do that all the time. Like,
that's what my son said. My son said that to me. He said, Dad, another life, I was your dad. Because it's like, but one of the things
he probably was.
Yeah, because like Eve was saying about Eve, how you dealt with your daughter, you know, it's so cool. I said to Aiden, I tried a different approach with Aiden because we're going through all this stuff. I actually said to him, pretended I didn't know what I was doing. I was like at a young age, I'm going like, what is this dad stuff? Like, what am I supposed to do? So he helped me figure out how to be a dad. and that helped condition them. So he was like, you know, try this, Dad, try this. And he kept starting to call me Tom, but he was like, you know, okay, try this. And I'm like, okay, let's try it out. And so I kept going to him every kind of decision point. I'm like, well, I could do this or that. What do you think? Let's do this. And I even did it with punishment one time. I said, should I punish you or not punish? Don't punish me, Dad, but how about I do it right next time? Perfect, let's do that. So yeah, it worked. It was pretty fun. A lot of silence here. I hear crickets, but I think that was pretty fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, you sparked the thought when you're talking about like looking in on your own like play or you know the performance, whatever it is. I think a lot of times people sometimes like seek something that externally looks so good that they compromise what they're really looking for this external production or external external portrayal of what looks perfect to the outside world, and to completely neglect, you know, what the important things, the more internal function of a connection is. I see that's very, very common in culture today, is people try to make this like perfect storybook jigsaw puzzle piece fit that everyone else can see, and then neglect, you know, the more, you know, the finer points for internal, the raw, real connection that people can have.
There's that
What I find are people are really after a feeling is what they're after, not the details. And they try to make the details that they see work to give them that feeling. So you can get in that feeling before you have all the details sorted out. And the cool thing, let me whip out my pyramid. The cool thing is when you do the feelings and the feelings and the emotions, it programs the most powerful creation force in all of creation to manifest it for you when you're feeling that feeling. So it's they're after a feeling of success or power, control or freedom or, you know, something. So it's get in the feeling without the details, and then the details all sort themselves out.
That's so cool, because a great relationship, the whole screenplay for me that became that blockbuster came from a great relationship. I was so happy in that relationship, and we celebrate together. I'd write, celebrate, hear what she's doing, celebrate what she's doing. And it was so cool because it was just celebration all the time. And I was just, it flowed. It just went pop, you know? But I noticed that society also put a pressure on, they always say how good you look together. You guys look so good together. We kept hearing that all the time. You guys look so good together. And it's like, I wonder if there's an unspoken pressure all the time on people.
Yes, Tom, you're right.
Looking good together. And that has an influence. And that's tragic in a sense. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Eve, we were going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, so I'm like, so basically, Tom, you're saying that I have to be in a relationship to finish my screenplay?
No, I'm saying it helps. It helps.
I'm never going to get to work.
Get to work.
All right. We'll date for 5 weeks, get your work done, and then you'll be set. There you go. And I'll give you flowers.
I can finish it. I don't know, 5 weeks is a...
Oh, okay. Well.
Oh, funny. Yeah, no, it's true.
I've been working on it for years.
Just go with what Kelly said and focus on how you're going to feel when it's done. And then it'll write itself.
But I think that's...
I don't know how I'm going to feel because I've never finished.
Well, you have your family, like Veronica said, you have your family here. And it's like you can celebrate together. That's what feeds it, I think, is the ability to celebrate together. Like, I got it done, yay! It's like, and then you get on the next thing, get it done, yay! And it's a group thing where you celebrate. I don't know why I do high-voiced yays, but yay!
Like, well, after I finished my first book, that was the one thing was I had a glass of champagne after I finished my book, but I don't drink. So I'm thinking that's kind of like messing me up because I had this ritual of always having a glass of champagne after I finished either a short story or poetry.
It's a program.
You're like
it's a program. Get rid of it.
I can't drink.
All right. Yeah.
I will finish it though. I actually got about 20 pages scraped up.
Nice.
So I'm excited about it.
Golf clap for you.
I think what's taking so long is doing the research on stem cell because that's not my forte.
I can help you. I like nanotechnology, artificial intelligence, stem cell. I actually had to research it myself because a lot of people were talking about it, and I'm like, I know I dealt with it in space, but I'm like, what the heck is it exactly? Like to the period and comma, you know? So yeah, I get you. You'll get there, Mama. You will.
Yeah,
I
a
believe in you, child.
fun process too is to write what you're don't know about, but write as if you know about it,
Yes.
and then see what you got right and what was innovative and new. That's why I wrote that one screenplay.
I
fact,
like that idea.
When I was in the touring company, what I did was I pretended to be a professor at one place we went. We went to different colleges and stuff. I pretended to be a professor, went in and just did this as a joke. It was a dare, and started talking about a subject I totally made up, putting stuff on the board and everything.
That's brilliant, because to learn something, actually, if you teach it to someone else, you learn it faster.
Right, and so it just let a free flow, and it actually made sense.
That's brilliant.
It made sense. Yeah.
I do.
You guys are gonna help me finish it. So
Yes, we
everybody,
are.
just
Okay.
give me my email,
It's a work.
messages, and you guys just like send me something, and then I'll put it in there, and then at the end I'll put your name.
That
Yeah,
is
so
so
I'll
cool.
help you. What I do is I ask myself questions like, what the hell is femtotech? Like I pretend like I don't know.
Right.
Because in the beginning I didn't know. I'm like, what the hell is femto? And then synchronicity happened. I went to Barnes and Noble and I said, I'm going to give a class. I put it out to the universe. Hey, whoever wants to contribute to books or whatever, let's do this. I got Fermi, Enrico Fermi in Italiano. Bambino, molto bene. He was the one that discovered the Fermi tech. They call it the Fermi femto tech. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And then I found another book and I'm like, and it's so funny because as soon as I start reading, boom, boom, my abilities take over. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I get all excited. And see, that's how we are. Let's talk about, Andrew, let's start with you. How do we use our abilities? Then Corey, because you know what? We have to tune into our abilities in order to get rid of the matrix life mentality of working 9 to 5, like that movie 9 to 5. You know what I mean? I dated myself anyway. Go ahead.
She sings.
I mean, it's different for everybody, but I think going, like we're talking about, following the synchronicities and going with the flow. And if you're not, to me, I find that if I'm not in that flow state and I'm not seeing a lot of synchronicities, then there's like what in Reiki you would call a blockage, or there's some type of or like a program or something that I'm not looking at, that I'm somewhere emotionally that I'm afraid to go to. So when you release whatever energy or emotion is blocking you from seeing, because I mean the synchronicities are everywhere, because like Kelly was saying, we are God, so we created everything. So I mean it's all right here right now. So if you're not it's really a matter of like perceiving it. So I think just going with it and trusting your intuition and not overthinking it, probably.
Second that.
Well, I'll talk. I don't know if this ties in exactly to the subject matter, but it's just something that I completely embrace today. Is if you don't accept the lesson, then you're going to have to go through the course again. So really being sometimes honest with yourself about embracing an experience and extracting the lesson out of it, no matter how painful or how much it could shatter your own ego, that until you embrace what that lesson is, or that same type of experience is going to keep happening over and over and over. They can apply to business, relationships, your athletics, whatever it is. Having enough fortitude to push forward and embrace the lesson, and humbling yourself enough to accept the lesson. I think you tie into any endeavor that a person goes through, whether it's, like I said, business, relationship, whatever the case is. Oh.
You can smoke, it's okay.
And I just got a phone.
That's so cool. Corey, you're lit like a iconic prophet. It's like you got this like glow behind your head, and it made me think of like Moses. It's really cool. So anything you say, I'm listening to intently.
Oh my gosh. Shut up, Tom. Shut up. That's Corey. Dude, Moses. Seriously,
yeah,
Tom.
But the lighting is like, I'm conditioned to respond to that. Like it reminds me of Search Holy Grail or something, Monty Python, when God appears. So
run away.
Well, I will tell you.
Yes, oh Lord, stop groveling. Yes.
There is a group of people out this area that do call me Moses, oddly enough.
That's wild.
Really, not even.
That's wild. No, it's the backlighting. The backlighting is perfect. It's that golden glowing light behind your head that just makes it look like, you know, you're part of that old iconic thing. I love it. It's great. Anyway. Yeah.
So anyway,
I'll take
some lessons gonna be hard, and if you the more until you embrace them, the lessons will keep getting harder and harder. So
well, that's definitely
Because it has to get your attention somehow.
It has to get
So
into your
if you don't get
DNA,
it the
right?
first time, it's just gonna get more and more intense until
Right.
you're like, all right,
in
I'm
my
tired
case,
of this
yeah.
lesson, so I'm just gonna
Yeah.
let go and accept it.
Point in case.
and then Tom, I think the timing. Let me share this with you, Tom. I think there's a project I was working on where I left one thing a little bit to chance, and sure enough, that thing, that weak link kind of dissolved on me. So with the project we're working on, Tom, it's just a reminder to me to make sure that we have, you know, we're thorough, we're not leaving anything to chance, we're not underfunded in any aspect,
Right.
and, you know, so that's where my thought kind of ties into in our relationship, Tom.
You
It's like
you
it
keep talking
really
about
very relevant for the project
Yeah.
we're working on.
synchronicities. You keep talking about synchronicities. I just been watching this stuff come up in programs. So they keep saying the same thing in different shows. It's like, no matter what your battle plan is, it's always going to go wrong. No, what your battle plan, you got to prepare 100%. Otherwise, you're going to go wrong. Something's going to go wrong anyway. So you got to prepare 100%. I keep hearing this stuff like, okay, I get the message. All right. So thoroughness.
Yeah, brother.
And no more honeypot wives. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, well,
Definitely.
same thing, Tom. I'm like, no more CIA Adam Henrys. No more.
No, thank you.
I stopped dating because
Yeah.
I went
That's a
celibate.
hurt
I'm
your
like,
wrist. Yeah.
I don't need another person to come tell me what to do. I know that if in the future I find someone, that man's gonna want to worship the ground I walk on, baby, and I'm gonna worship the ground that he walks on.
This could be
Because
a carpet of roses. Yeah.
uh,
Mhm.
okay, real quick. So, Corey, you were saying, you know, okay. So you know how they have these memes? Oh my gosh, the universe is gonna teach you the same lesson until you get it. The love and light communicate.
You are really good at that, by
Well,
the
you know
way.
what?
That is good, yeah.
That's an excellent Valley girl. You get
Yeah,
points.
that's good.
Yeah, I lived in
Yeah,
Cali.
like really.
I lived in Hollywood for a year. Anyway, I would go there every summer. Anyway, my family lives there. Okay, so you know the meme is that the universe is gonna teach you, and you know, and then it kind of like it's not right. That's not right. You know what it is? I was thinking about this last week, and I'm like, it's me. It's me. It's Brittany B. Right? It's me, girl. It's me. Because if I am supposed to wake up in this life, I'm going to make myself, right, go through all these things until I get it right, until I hit rock bottom. I don't know how many times. And then I got to dust myself off, right? Dust the shoes off. Like they say, dust your shoes off if somebody don't like you. Right, Kelly?
Your bubble, and they can go themselves.
Yeah.
You know, it's really
It's
cool.
funny, Kelly, because I actually did that yesterday, and I got super upset with somebody, and I don't know where it came
I
from.
didn't mean
but
for you
I
guys
just
to
said,
really do that. Like
Go
I was
F
just
yourself
like,
in
joking.
French, and I've never taken a day in French. So, yeah, and then I had this really weird memory after that. I remember my father speaking to me in German, and I understood him. So I have like French and German in my background, but I've never left the States. I think my father was stationed in Germany and France when he was in the army, but I don't know where that came from or why I decided to say go F yourself to somebody in French. Never.
Interesting.
The
It was
energy
very
is there right now. The energies are supporting you in that.
Yeah.
That's Veronica and I talked before you guys came.
Yes, we totally did.
I'm learning too. Today I'm learning something new. It's like, I mean, something reinforced is that the communication by people that are actually ones you love, that you can trust, and it brings answers and revelations, even if it's said a different way than what you were thinking, same thing said a different way can really hit. And I've had some booms today. So it's really cool. So it's communicate and open up rather than isolate and shut away. So it's like, yeah. So this is inspiring me too. Corey, I'm excited about the work too we're doing. I want to tell you, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, brother. And one thing I've really been intentional on the last few days is like right at that state before sleep is really, really tapping in to the future version of myself that has accomplished the things that are critical to accomplish to get this purpose like manifested. And it's been pretty powerful. I'm sure you guys can relate to that to a degree. And I've actually been able to a couple times to tap into myself and the future versions of some people close to me. And the downloads coming back from that have been pretty powerful.
Cool. Very cool. This is really cool. This is nice. This has been a nice time.
I'm going to show you something. Let me show you something. Okay, Corey, you said something.
Yes,
what I do is I don't need this, but I saw that movie and Evan and I talked about it before on the show, Somewhere in Time. Okay?
Yes. Oh,
I found this. It was on sale at Hobby Lobby for $5. I'm like, so cool. I mean, I wanted a silver one with the chain and I'm like, no, I'm good with this. I don't need this, okay? To time travel, to fix my past for me, to fix the future, to fix now. Okay, I don't need this to travel, but some people need it. And so the other day, I missed my dad a lot because I lost him when I was 13. I know where you are, Dad. I haven't lost you completely somewhere. But anyway, I said, I'm going to go to you, Dad. And I hypnotized, well, I don't hypnotize myself. I just kept saying certain words. I said, Dad, I'm wearing this, remember, Dad, I'm wearing my it was a dress that was a red and white checkered, acuérdate, papá, in Spanish, acuérdate, remember, Dad, my hair was this, and I am going to go see you. Remember, Dad, I'm going to go see you. Remember my dress. Remember, there was a piñata, there was my celebration in Mexico. I'm going to you, Dad. And as soon as I was holding it in my hand, I fell asleep, maybe for 1 second, my body jumped and I'm like, I saw my dad. And I told him, please, Dad, don't take your life. Like, it's cool. Like, if you did, I totally get it because I've been there before. I said, but I love you. And the second time I went, and mind you, it could be 1 second, 1 minute, it could be 3 minutes, but over there, it's longer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I call you guys or when I text you, see you on the flip side, that means I'll see you right in the astral pretty much.
Oh yeah.
That stuff is real too. And so the second time, real quick, and you guys can go after this, sorry. But the second time, I took my middle sister and I carried her. I said a few words and then I said, Dad, here's my middle sister. Love her. Love her, Dad. Because I was the oldest, so I got all the attention, Daddy's girl. And I'm like, Dad, she's mad. Like, you need to help her heal. Hold her, love her, tell her you're sorry, tell her you love her, do something, Dad. And so I carried her. I looked at my time. Boom. Gave her to my dad. And then, so I did that 4 times, different, I would involve my mom, then my little sister and things like that. So this has a purpose. You don't, like I said, you don't need one, but you can go in your mind, your heart. But that's the way I heal past lives or past timelines or just the past year. Because remember, there is no time. Everything is happening at once. And I heard a guy, Fong, he was talking online. I'll if you guys want the link, he was talking about the alphabet soup. And he was saying how there's no dimension in the universe because a dimension is, what is it, length by width times height, I guess would be like the 3D or whatever. There's no length width out there. So I was trying to kind of understand that. I'm like, okay, why do the people say that there are dimensions, even though I know that there's different things, lives, different of me living in these, we'll call them places instead of dimensions.
Could be the 0 dimension, Daryl.
Say again?
It could be the 0 dimension.
It is. Thank you. It's the binary code too, because from 0, thank you, Corey. Thank you. You read my mind. The 0 is magical because the 0, you can put the negative numbers, 0, positive numbers, as above, so below. You can do all kinds of fractions, you could quantum physics. I mean, from the zero is everything. And so when people say, I'm not going to go to the light, I'm going to go to the light when I leave this, you know why I'm not going to the light? And there's a big controversy out there on YouTube. I'm not going to the light because I am light, bitches. And guess what? Excuse my language. Oh, another show for that.
That's just a Valley Girl phrase. It's okay.
I know, right?
Yeah, Valley Girl accent with that one.
Oh my God.
I can black, baby. So anyway, right, Tom? So
Yeah.
from the zero, you can create.
Z.
So supposedly,
Yeah.
supposedly in the BIBLE, these Anunnaki, Enlil, Enki, all those, and the sister that was involved too in making the body, and then they traded with the Dracos, where the blood, and then they did the mantas. You know, everybody's involved. 12 bloodlines to make one of us, and we are number 13. Okay, we'll talk about that later. What I'm trying to say is, it said in the beginning, there was nothing. And then there was a word. And then he created light, created el mar, the ocean. So they're telling you the secrets right there. From nothing, you create. We are the zero ground, baby. Okay, this is too quiet. Who wants to go?
No, I'm digging it.
Oh yeah. I think the one thing, my parents were both Native American. They were put in the residential schools because they were both orphans. And one of the things that was taken was our language. So I knew that we didn't call ourselves what the government calls us, which is Chippewa. We don't call ourselves that. We call ourselves Anishinaabe. And one thing about Anishinaabe is it translated. I had an elder translate it for me, and it's light lowered from the stars. And I think that's a good thing because you know what? There's a lot of us that are here that are lowered from the stars, that are here to do the work that we were sent here to do. Just a lot of people just didn't wake up. We knew what could happen if we came here, that we could get lost and not be able to find our way. But just keep shining your light within, and that's going to guide everybody. Hopefully, I may sound like I'm just too positive, but Veronica, I can be so very negative when I don't want to.
Where do you actually live?
Yeah.
Where
Oh,
do you
and then the
actually
one
live?
thing too, Veronica, that you were talking about, you're welcome. In my language, we don't have that. We have miigwech, which means thank you, but we don't say you're welcome. So we don't have a word, or we don't say please. Those are words that we just don't have.
Corey, she's in, you were asking Eve where she lives.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Corey, I didn't hear. I live in North Dakota. I would say a town. I think Veronica sent
No,
it
it's
in
okay.
messages. But I'm just like a little, I'm a single mom, so I
Understood.
I don't want to.
Were you born in that same area?
I was born next door, in Minnesota, in Minneapolis.
Yeah, gotcha.
And then you can tell I kind of still have the little Minnesota accent. But I did some, when I was about 15, I moved to Colorado, did some training out there before coming back to Minnesota. I've been out to New York. I've been out to Arizona. I lived in Wisconsin when I was younger. That was the very beginning of the MK Ultra for me. Was
me too. I was outside of Eau Claire, Wisconsin, from like.
Gosh, I was in Menominee. I used to go to Eau Claire all the time.
Kind of
Yeah,
figured
my mother went to Stout University in Menominee, Wisconsin. So small world.
No kidding. Always.
That is so cool. I just recently checked out a movie at the library called Navajo Code Breakers. So awesome. So I think it was World War II or wait.
Yes, World War II.
Yeah. They didn't have a language or world. Yeah. and they treated them so bad
Mhm.
in the military.
Yeah.
They were so poor. Same thing with Hispanics, you know, black. It doesn't matter. It's. But this was about the Navajo. They didn't have the language, and the military said, "You have to decode it. We need to know."
Mm.
So a few got together, and they decoded their language. They made a code for the Navajo language. And they were the first ones that were sent out. You know why?
Mhm.
And they were the first ones to put up the USA flag. One of them talks about how he didn't understand the Marines. He's like, what? Why are they treating me like this?
Mhm.
So mean. Like, and then he's like, oh, I got it later. He says, I had to obey everything. And then I would get rewarded, you know, with respect. Unfortunately, that happens when I was at, you know, the academy as well. You know, we weren't allowed to walk anywhere. You had to run everywhere. You weren't allowed to wear a uniform until the day of your graduation, day before, to take pictures and stuff. But, you know, then you got the respect because they break you. He said too in the video, he's like, they break you and then they rebuild you. But you know what? So I know it's kind of sucky, sad, or whatever you want to call it. But after, because I've been through this stuff, it's like, you know, and the SSP too, you know who you are. After you wake up, after you clear your pineal gland, and after you sync your left, right, you know, brain, and you know who you are in your heart, it's awesome. Because you have, yes, you have that training. Nobody's going to F with you.
Mhm.
Nobody. Because now
Hey,
you
I just learned this yesterday, and for some reason I feel compelled to mention it. I learned that 1 in 300 U.S. citizens are under contract with a certain alphabet agency.
Mhm. Wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe
at
you
all.
guys already know that. I didn't realize it was quite that many.
I would think it was more.
It
I would
could
think
be,
it was
too.
more.
Yeah.
Yep.
They recruit as needed. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can smell them by a
That
mile.
one.
No, run the other way. No, thanks. I
Mhm.
won't. I won't even communicate with them at the gym. I'll see them like I'll be, you know, because you watch everywhere. You got your blinders, but at the same time, because you're focused on your workout, but at the same time, you know what's going on around you. Who's wearing that shoe? What color he's wearing? You know what he looks like just with one blink. You know, and it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
smell
The
'em
weirdest thing about the operatives when they actually talk to you, it's so stupid. They end up bragging and they always brag about the same thing. It's like, guys, I've heard this so many times. They'll come up to me and they'll say, some will give me positions and things like this, and they'll say, do you know, I'm looking at you right now and I'm thinking of 30 ways to kill you, and you wouldn't even know because it looks like I'm like, yeah, I hear it all the time. Yes, you're thinking of 30 ways to kill me. Great. But they always say that. They always open with that some reason. It's like, I mean, whether it was the Masons or you name it, they'll come up and say, you know, yeah, Tom, by the way, I'm looking at you right now. You might think I'm your friend. I could be thinking of 30 ways to kill you. I'm like, great. It's always 30 ways to kill me. Is that what you guys come up with? Not 31, not 29, 30.
Not 33.
I like to respond. I'm thinking of 30 ways to ignore you.
Free, Lord,
So yeah,
free.
yeah, I got 30 ways to ignore you. So yeah, you may not know it, but I'm not listening.
I got 50 cents ways to ignore you, man. Eh?
Yeah.
Right? But
That's
yeah,
funny, Veronica. I came up with 33 at the same time you did.
I know. Isn't that weird? So like, oh shoot, I wrote it down and I can't read. Darn it, hold on. Doctor's handwriting, they say. They know who you are, pretty much, right? You know, you're having a conversation. You don't even know the person, you know, at the grocery store. It could be DMV, whatever the heck. And then they start talking to you like if they know you.
Mhm.
And
A
they
minute.
hey, very directive. Hey, like the other day I was at the gym and I took my kombucha because I make kombucha. And usually I don't take it to the gym, but I'm like, man, I don't want to eat because I ate so much last night. You know, I got fat around the tummy or whatever, you know. So I was drinking my kombucha and there's a guy, you know, he was military.
Mhm.
What's that? How can I get a sample of that? I want to try it. I'm like, very chingando, forcing. I'm like, don't do that.
Mhm.
So obvious. And then they brag about all their service, and I'm like,
Yeah, they
oh,
always do that.
I gotta
Yeah, they're gonna write their book. They got their journal. And another thing they gave away, they don't realize we're not stupid. We know what's going on. But another thing they do is most people will talk to you like this. They'll have a conversation, look down, they'll fix their hair, they'll look aside, look off a bit, talk to you. Not these guys. These guys look right at you the whole time. They're looking at you the whole time. It's like, well, I've been learned to directly contact you. And so it's a giveaway because I'm looking right at you and I'm not turning away. I'm looking really fierce and thorough. 30 ways to kill you. It's like they don't do the normal, like casual look. They're always like right at you. Like they want to be impressive and focused. And it's a giveaway. It's a giveaway. It's a dead giveaway. So I learned how to spot these guys. They'll even do it on the street if they're assigned to be to you, where you hear this person's been there for a reason. They'll be looking at you for a cigarette. They're looking right at you all the time. It's like they're like trained dogs. They're not that bright when it comes down.
Tom, how much of it do you think is like?
Wait. I'm kind of slow to this conversation. Who are these people? Because I've seen this.
the alphabet soups
these
that
are-
we talk about.
Alphabet boys.
Oh, got it. Okay.
All right, the
CUs,
suits.
The
Fibbies and the CUs. The CUs and
YMCA.
yeah, yeah, but they do. They're really stupid when it goes to it, and then
Oh.
we have their neck figured out. But go ahead.
Tom.
Sorry.
And then another thing. Okay, have you heard this one? I feel like I'm told or compelled that I need to help you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Do I pay
Yeah.
my bills? No thanks, because you know what? I don't want your energy.
No, that's what they set it up. They plant set up ahead of time. There's a guy named Corey Wild on Maui, who's a top DJ, part of the Animal Crew on Maui. He got promoted to Disney's ABC studios on Oahu, top station. And he contacts me out of the blue and writes this whole thing about, Tom, you may be thinking about suicide because I know what you went through. And I'm like, no, I'm not. They try to put that idea. And they go like, just so you know, I feel it for you. And they put it publicly, I feel it for you. And I'm there for you. Next message I hear from Mr. Corey Wild, who's all from Disney and all the Disney stuff, is Tom, you're a fraud and you're all this kind of stuff. So they sent him on my page and then sent him at me publicly saying fraud, all this stuff as a personality. If you go to his page, he's in Disney, Disney Europe, Disney World, Disney this, Disney that. He works with Disney, which has ABC studios and is the top DJ. So he's part of the operatives, and that's what they do. So they come in, that's what Veronica said. They come in going, I want to help you. And you're not asking for help. You're doing fine, and it's like, you're going to commit suicide. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. He's like, and he actually says in this clip, I'm going to use for the documentary team, show it to him, where he actually says, I had another person that called me and I didn't do anything about it. He died committing suicide. So I'm talking to you because I'm not going to ignore it. Then why are you suddenly coming on my page later, trashing me completely publicly and in front of the public, as a personality? So it's a build you up, tear you down tactic where they come in and they're employed. I got text after text, copies of text messages, emails that people sent me where the FBI came to them, sometimes for 2 and 3 hours on a Saturday, on a weekend. And I have those texts. I could share it right now. So yeah, so when you're a high level target, much it might influence the public, work that might common knowledge that you did it and you're worth 1.2 billion in this case, going up since Matrix 4 is out. They assign people to you and they'll just pick them up. And it's much like the Immortals screenplay Immortals or Matrix was talking about, where they'll pick people blindly, where they're doing the kitchen work and suddenly they're contacted to be an agent. That is exactly how it works.
You got to look at the movie The Gray Man.
And the people, and I got text from that too, where people, just ordinary people, were contacted to be employed to take you down because they were close to you. And that happened to my sister working with the FBI operative, Brian Fitzpatrick, who is lifelong FBI and Pennsylvania congressman, handling my sister and giving her great rewards, black tie dinners, everything. He got her in and she changed into a monster. So her job is to put me away on false 302 charges. That's how the FBI works. They employ, it's just like the movie where the person's in the kitchen, suddenly they're employed. And the people feel very honored to have the FBI contact them and want their services, and they'll turn on you.
Oh yeah.
And reward.
And
that's how it works in our country.
Right.
That's how it works. And they're supposed to speak dirt. So this is real. It's real.
Oh yeah.
And so people who feel like they're nobodies suddenly feel very important. They start bragging about it. The rewards they get and how the FBI contacted them. I've got text after text after text of different people.
I think some people are,
go ahead. Sorry.
I think some people are so heavily influenced by like the weaponized energy and the just the programming in general, they almost function as agents without even knowing they're functioning as agents.
It's like the movie.
That's
It was
the MK Ultra stuff. Yeah, the MK Ultra.
Like
That's right.
it's overwhelmed with being
Neuralink-
so much.
That's why the Neuralink, which is in the screenplay I wrote, which precedes Matrix, the Neuralink is then given to Elon Musk to claim, because the Neuralink is how the agents then all start working cohesively with the public working for them. That's
Yes,
the
yes,
Neuralink, and it's in
exactly.
the original screenplay.
Yes,
It's
Tom.
in my work, so they gave it to Elon Musk to claim.
Yes. Okay. Something went up last night because it was about maybe almost 1 a.m. Because I create at night. When everything is quiet outside, that's when I flow with my art. So anyway, I got hit twice with an energy weapon on my right ear. It was very, very high pitched noise.
Last night,
Hurt
right here.
so
Oh my
bad.
gosh, that happened to me
Last
too.
night. Last
Yes.
night. It
Yes.
like-
It was so loud.
It
out
sounded
of
like a microwave.
nowhere.
Microwave on steroids. It was like
About 1 a.m. your
I
time,
didn't sleep
Vero?
last night. I couldn't sleep last night because the right ear going like that started aching. It was going.
Oh my god.
I got a migraine.
That's what happened to me
Here,
last night.
here, and here.
Last night, I almost couldn't do the
Yes,
show.
my
I didn't
neck was
sleep.
You,
killing me
Tom?
too.
It happened to Eve and it happened to Jessica.
Yeah, I almost couldn't do
Vero,
the show.
about 1 a.m. your time, Vero?
Yes, about. Let me look
Yeah.
Or
at
even
my
at 3.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
It
about
sounded like a
3:30,
microwave
I
on
Wow.
steroids. Like, it's like a microwave on an amplifier.
Yeah.
It was like.
They use
Yes.
scalar waves, okay?
It's
Yeah,
like,
it was up last night.
That's why you're not supposed to go through the freaking thing at the airports.
I've never
because they
gone through
use
that.
Scalar
I've made
waves.
sure.
Yeah, but the
What
right
thing?
ear. It's the right ear. Yeah, the right ear. It'll bleed at times. Yeah.
I've had
The-
ear bleeds as a child, and even nosebleeds, and I would wake up
Yeah.
and I look in my pillow. I'm like, why am I?
Yeah, it's aching
do
right
that
now.
on purpose.
That's
Go
right.
ahead, Kelly. Sorry.
Yeah.
What? Okay. You were breaking up.
You go ahead. Did you also get hit too?
I'm so shocked that what I'm going through is like so similar to you guys. So yeah, it was like really loud, louder than normal. It was a different tone than I normally hear.
Right.
And it
right.
sounded like someone turned technology on.
Yes.
It was different than the angelic kind of stuff, which I'm not saying it's angels, but this was different. Just
You're right, because
technology.
usually it's like this.
yeah, that's it. This was
Can't
different.
ignore it. Only fluctuating. This time was like. That's what it sounded like last night. Yeah, right here.
it was, I was walking down the hallway and I was going into my bedroom, and just as I walked in, and sometimes this happens, and sometimes it's like kind of connected to like some of the jump room technology that we used in the program. You walk into a different room and it's almost like a different atmosphere frequency, and it changes. Well, I thought that's what it was, but all of a sudden I started having like this weird stabbing pain behind my right ear.
Mhm.
And I put on my beanie, but this is like my EMF blocking beanie.
Mhm.
And I found it under my bed last night. So I threw it on and I was wearing it when it happened.
Yeah.
I was wearing
But
it.
I had
Oh my
it, I had
gosh.
this, it was covering my left ear and my right ear was out, and it hurt. It was like making the canals inside my ears like
Yes, my ears
like-
have been hurting. Like,
vibrate
It goes
really
to your
bad.
girl. It goes
Like,
to the
it's
girl.
like
right,
the-
right.
It's
And,
obviously-
Ocular. It's connected to the occipital nerve block. They hit you right here, then it gets to the occipital nerve block. It gets here. It's so
Yep.
it'll actually
Yes, that's
affect
where I've been feeling it.
like your leg and your feet will start to actually pull blood. Like
Yes.
that's what happened to mine. I
Right.
took a picture of my foot today. I took a picture of it because what happens is it'll start to bleed and pull blood near the bottom of the foot
Mhm.
on the right leg. So it happens to be able to start cramping and going
Me too.
nuts
I
where it
get
actually
leg
crumbles
cramp.
up and it's actually damaged.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening is they can do this with these sound waves.
Yes.
And
the
then they can
hands
put you
too.
away on this. They'll claim they're putting you away because they'll say, they'll use this phrase, we're putting you away for the criminally insane because you are seriously physically impaired. Or they're the ones that are doing it.
Yep.
So they're
Right.
doing the action and
Yeah.
they're
What
saying
about
you're
like
seriously
losing your
physically impaired.
fingertips? Like I can't feel my fingers. A lot
Right,
of
right.
it.
That'll get really numb.
I
Yeah.
wake up with both. I have what they say. Oh, you have cervical radiculopathy. So the pain goes from the middle finger all the way to the deltoid, and it's
Mhm.
related to the neck, right? And it's why it's the 5-in-1 baby Jabberwocky they gave me in the army, which
They
has
can
anthrax.
fry they can fry your nervous system.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then
And
I'm
Veronica,
gonna go-
that time is exactly the time last night.
oh my gosh, it was
Time that you wrote down.
45
So no-
hours.
Yep. It was exactly, I was walking into my bedroom
Wow.
and it hit me. And like, after I sat down on the bed and got my bearings, I looked at the time and it was 2 minutes after the time you would
It was
post this.
horrible
So-
pain, dude.
See, that is terrible. It's horrible pain.
It was
See,
horrible.
what people don't understand is
yeah.
people would usually say, well, why would they target you or you guys? It's like, well, you're doing this program. We're talking about the work they don't want to talk about. We're talking about the agencies they don't want to be talked about.
Right.
And it is a time where they're crumbling. They're falling apart right now. They haven't been able to stop the information coming out. I will get credit back for my work and for my son and give it to the world. Everyone's going to own that work.
Right.
They're all going to own the matrix. So they know that, and that they believe is going to upset the total apple cart, along with all the rest of the work we're doing, like Corey's doing, the rest of us are doing, like you're doing. They don't want this kind of gathering. And so,
Right.
yes, they take the time and the resources to do this kind of stuff. They want to show their power. They want to seem clever, just like why they talk to you and try to brag all the time. It's
Right.
like they want to be clever. They want to feel powerful. They want to feel more powerful. And the only way they can be beaten, they believe, is if someone's more powerful than them. Well, I'm the one that has a message on the tape that says, you've won the chess game. They're afraid of your power.
Right.
So because of the work and because I'm like, we're all together doing this, they are saying we've already won. So they're throwing their hissy fit. It's like the last part of a fireworks show where they're throwing the finale, bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
And then they're going to crumble and the show is over. It's our turn.
It's our
It's our-
turn. Yeah,
our-
and you know, I'm gonna
It's
say
rated
this
artists.
publicly, you guys. I'm gonna say this publicly right now. Okay, in case something they want to say something. All right. So on Friday, all right. So real quick, I went through the divorce. One day, I was homeless with my daughter for one day, and it was horrible. Okay,
Sure.
horrible. I had to go live with my family. I couldn't live with my mom. We don't get along. I love her, but I can't. Okay.
Mhm.
So they said, Kodak said, listen, Vero, if you sign this document that you're SMI, severely mentally ill,
Oh God.
we will help you find housing. Guess
Yeah.
what? I signed it. They never helped me find housing.
No.
I'm paying $803 for an apartment and I get $841 on Social Security. Okay.
Mhm.
How do I do it? I manifest, baby. Anyway, I'm supposed to go. I told him on email, I said, yo, Vito, his name is Vito. I said, V, I need this SMI crap off of my chart.
Mhm.
Now, 2 years ago, I had gone and I said, hey, I need it off. Okay. I did a whole interview with the case manager. And mind you, through another agency, I got my behavioral health tech certificate and my RSS, recovery coach. So I'm that too. They offered me a job. Hey, you want to come work with us? And I'm like, I can't.
Yeah. I'll
I-
get around it.
I have to do this. This is my mission. I can't go, with that agency, okay? Because then there's rules.
Right.
And then so they're like, sure, come back this day. We'll take the SMI thing off. Well, I went. Oh, I'm sorry. So-and-so is not available.
Mhm.
I already had signed the paperwork to get it off. This was 2 years ago.
Mhm.
So finally I said, you know what? I'm tired of them not, listening to me. So finally I said, okay, book me in for Friday, this Friday at 1:30. He sends me a message. I'm going to read it. He said, okay, so do you still want your appointment at like 1? And I said, yeah. And then he says this. Come on. Hi, Veronica. Okay, let me set you up with an appointment. Blah, blah, blah said he knows you already because I told him who I was talking to. But I have to tell you, dun, dun, dun. Doctors are usually hesitant to sign off when they haven't seen you for a while.
Oh, Trey.
I will try to make the appointment for this Friday.
So
So
sorry. That's the big tactic. That is the big tactic these days is psych field with law enforcement to put creative people away that are
And
threats, but
CPS,
actually
the children,
that are good people. Yeah, rip you away
the
from your children.
hospitals.
Yeah, and they put you in for the criminally insane, and then what happens is they can own you, and they can dispose of you, or they can drug you,
I do
both,
not consent to
or
their.
they can use your children as leverage, where you get to see your child if you, quote, behave yourself. And it's like, this is the tactic they're doing. When you have no criminal record,
Mhm.
you've contributed to society,
Right.
you're a person that loves people, has compassion, caring, doesn't matter. They're going to control what they consider as the biggest threats, those that have the most influence. And they don't look at us as like our monetary value, what we have in the bank right now. They look at it as our potential, what our value is, what we're worth according to our creative work and such. And so that's why they keep telling me, you're in the past, they're saying 1.2 billion, 1.2 billion, and now you're going to be worth about 2 billion. So it's like they are telling us monetary value when they contact us. That's what they know, if justice was done, what we're worth.
We are
If
worth more than money. We are worth more than.
But that's their factoring.
dollars.
That's their system. I'm telling you, their system. Of course
Yeah.
we are. But that's how they measure it.
Mhm.
And that's what they react to. If you're targeted, it's based on their value system. You know, how much you are worth monetarily, how much influence you might have in the world. Our ability to reach people and affect them, be believable, and reach them and try to help is measured in as a factor, as a threat to these other guys, because they can't control us. The word they used for me was difficult. Tom is difficult, very convincing and difficult, because they can't buy me. They won't buy me. So they actually use that language. Yeah. But they're
Yeah,
fans of the work.
I get you, Tom. Like one of my family members, I'm not gonna say who, but he's like, not even God wins you. And she's like, you're not, that's why you're not married, because you have such a bad attitude. I'm like, no, baby, that's my Hulk coming out when there's injustice.
Yeah. No, it's like they use that card too about the marriage thing. It's like, I was in so many, like I'm compiling a list now, not to make it all about but it's like the book I'm writing to bring this out. 30 different relationships that were absolutely amazing.
That's it.
Just counting honeypot wives, but they were all approached. They're all approached by people they didn't know, saying, don't be with Tom. He's evil. He's criminal. He does sex experiments on children. They're
Oh
told
my
all
goodness.
this stuff. They are. We call them anonymouses, and they don't want to be revealed. I've got transcripts given to me by people approached that I have right here, that were told he's a Jekyll and Hyde. He's done, he weighs a gun around, threatens to kill professors and people. It's like they have this. They say this about me. And so any relationship, any woman that's come to me, and I didn't ask people out, they asked me out, because I was something I did. I didn't want to
What's your
pursue
number,
people. I
Tom?
wanted
Let me
to
ask you
pursue
out.
women. I want them to feel comfortable. And so what happens is they would be approached 2 weeks later, basically approached and told, don't be with Tom. Don't tell him we saw you. And that's what happened. That's why I'm single. They just have to plant doubt. And then they end up saying this, well, why would they be doing this to us? Why would they be approaching if there's not something to it? Great. Well, there you go. And sometimes it's groups doing it. So it doesn't matter that I'm a nice guy, likable, and they even said, I know your heart. This is a system they use because they don't want power couples. They don't want that creativity to surge.
Yep.
They don't want a man and woman that looks like a real man and woman having a happy life. The public sees them, public figures, with children that are happy too.
Yes.
No, they're pushing transgender and these other things.
Right.
So that's why they're breaking up power couples in their view, or power couples, which are just couples that really just love life and love each other. I've had beautiful relationships, the best. And like, that's how my work was created. I loved having a muse that was a saint being that was amazing, that I looked up to and she looked up to me. Yeah. I love that. And we celebrate all the time, equally balanced right across the board. And that's what's interesting, is I still activate myself as if I'm married to an amazing woman. And Aiden sees that. I am the mom and dad for him, but it's like he sees me as if I'm with that woman still. And I think of the woman in the future. There will be the woman in the future. They're not gonna be able to keep a woman away all this time and keep approaching. One woman's gonna say, no, I'm not gonna buy this anymore. And I'm not gonna have you do this. It's not gonna work. I know Tom's heart. And I've always said, I just want to be known for my heart. So that's where I'm at now, is I know that's gonna happen. And I'm looking forward to meeting her.
I know. Me too, because I know I've had several dreams where I'm in a beautiful wedding gown, and and Mary Ann Badro is making it for me, in my dreams in the astral. Remember, their dreams are not dreams, they're real. And,
the information. I'm not in the wedding gown, but I'm definitely meeting the person. We just sit down next to each other and we just know. Yeah. It's that we're not even dating. We just sit down next to each other and go, Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
really cool.
exactly,
All right, let's
exactly.
create.
And to me, the wedding dress also to me, because I was brought up with that program, it
Mhm,
makes the bride of, that name in the church, but that's
Right.
actually Zeus. Okay. So I know there's the Yeshua,
Right, the right person.
and I just posted something on Mary Magdalene and Joshua Ben Sephora or something. Joshua Ben Hamin, or he is now well, to me, Joshua 12, okay? And those of you that know. So we are just like him. We don't worship
Mhm.
this entity. It's like you guys would worship me or me, you. I do not accept worship. Okay.
Mhm.
A compliment is nice, like, hey, you're so blah, 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 blah. Oh, thanks. Because I already know it, but I don't need it. It's not about ego. I tell them, you know what? Stop giving away your power.
Mhm. Well,
Because
that's it. It's going to be,
all
everything's going to
taken away.
switch. The power, they definitely are crumbling. They've lost their power, and you're going to see people's happily together, coming together naturally without any tricks, traps, games, or anything. You'll see great couples forming up, natural systems really forming up really great. And it's interesting because they actually circulated a rumor about me that I'm married. There's been this rumor going around that I'm married.
I
And so
thought you were married, Tom, and I
they're
said,
spreading a rumor around. They're spreading a rumor because they don't want me hooked up with a person who's actually a great person. That you can imagine that, me with a woman that's right, doing public stuff and things like that, and having great kids and putting forward a message and stuff.
Right.
They would hate that. That's what Robertson, from the evangelical Robertson guy,
yes,
televangelist, he was trying to match me up with a woman of his pick when I was
That's
being groomed to be the face of Christian Coalition. They recognize the value of well-matched couples. So I look forward to meeting the right person, and it's going to be cool. And I look
Hey,
forward
Tom,
to yeah.
this truth revolution is also truther evolution.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, it's
Just
true.
like, well,
We're breaking out. It's like we're like eggs in the water, just breaking out and flying. It's like we're all going to fly now. We have been oppressed so badly,
Yep.
but we're not victim mentality. We don't fit victim well. We fit free fly well. We fit creative well. We fit happy well, and compassion and celebration well. We don't fit victim well. We just won't wear that skin. No matter what they throw at us, we're not going to be a victim. We're not going to have it.
Right.
There's too much to life to celebrate and to be happy about. And the
Yes.
world's going to be better because we're not going to take their little cells. It's like if they lock us away, we're still going to be singing and creating in our minds. Yeah, there's no way they can't break our spirits.
No, they can't.
cannot, and they're learning that.
Right.
And so
now,
they feel like spoiled little sad people. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, thank you, Tom. I want to bring this up. Okay.
Mhm.
I sent, Eve, Tom, if you guys didn't get it, let me know. I sent a lot of you a video on Rumble.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it also has to do with Cappy. What happened to Cappy? He would not leave his house. He had a lot of information on the PEDO world. Okay.
Mm.
Started talking. He was infiltrated. He thought his friends were his friends and they weren't.
No.
That's what happened to me too.
Sure.
And then he wouldn't even go out. And then he started getting more fearful. And you know what happened to him? Now, I want you guys to know that, yeah, you guys know already here. It's hard to speak, the truth, but it's a good thing to go out, go out to Mother Nature, walk barefoot, ride your bike, go to the gym, whatever, because you don't want to seclude yourself too much. However, there are times where you must. I know there are days when I'm already ready with my backpack and everything, and I open the door and I'm like, oh shoot, I'm not going anywhere today. Because my body, my DNA, my higher, I don't call it my higher self, I call it me. All my altars are me. That's me. That's my God. I am God. Okay. You're God. God is. I don't like to use that word because we're actually in higher dimensions than this matrix wants to call these dog wars, I call them backwards.
Yeah, like the bubble thing. I like that.
So yeah, there has to be a balance in our life. That way it doesn't, a message to everyone that's feeling sad. I got you. And you got
Absolutely.
me. Okay?
Yeah, you feel like
Real
family.
star seeds.
Yeah.
Not the fakers.
Well, that's the thing too. I want to just share real quick.
Yes.
Is that when I'll go jogging and there'll be a car that follows me when I'm jogging. Yeah. And so now recently what I've done is I've given cookies to the people that have been following me. I'll give them cookies for fun.
I'm gonna start giving them lollipops.
Yeah,
They're
I give them cookies. It's like if they're gonna be kids, I'll give them cookies. It's just, I'll be nice about it. Like, here you
Yeah.
go, guys.
That's a
since
great
we're
idea.
jogging together. It's supposed to intimidate. I'm even told by contacts it's supposed to intimidate you. Pull up in front, stand there and stare. So I'll take a picture and I'll go out and
I do
offer them
too. I
something.
take pictures. Yeah.
And it works. They don't know what to do with that, really. And they're actually bored, a lot of these guys, with their job that's supposed to be handling stalking. It's supposed to create fear also, so nobody wants to be with you.
Right.
It's making it public that you're an undesirable person. You must have done something wrong. Like sometimes these cars will pull up and they'll do the other tactic with this. They'll actually call out first. And it's interesting. It's like a script. They'll always say, yelling at the top of their lungs, I won't yell here, but they'll say, "Who are you?" And they'll say that loudly through the neighborhood. Now that's supposed to make it, I understand, that's supposed to make it sound like you did an altercation. You started something. You did something wrong. You're dangerous. That somebody's saying, "Who are you?" And it could be right in your own yard. They're pulling up in front of your house.
It could even be a
yelling.
whisper.
It creates an atmosphere for the public that you're a dangerous person causing problems. Same when SWAT teams come. So yeah, so it's like, and the SWAT teams will come, and they'll actually come because a relative has been paid, such as my sister with the FBI, lifelong FBI operative, Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick, that she has been saying, she tells authorities, Tom calls me all the time and says he's suicidal and gonna kill his son. Really, Julie? It's the last person I call on the earth. I would never say that. But that's what she says with the credentials they've given her, including being mentioned on the floor of Congress by the congressman with a picture held up at Congress. That it makes it stick that the SWAT team then comes. You never know what's going to happen. She's enjoying that power.
And why?
Yes.
Because people are programmed on TV. They're programmed on TV.
Yep.
They're programmed on the commercials. That's why I turn off the commercials on my Pandora. Like I'm at the gym working out. I don't care what set I'm on, right, Corey? I'm like, get out of Pandora because I ain't gonna listen to that because it goes into your subconscious and then you start believing all that crap.
What pictures do your neighbors think? What do your neighbors think when they see SWAT team fully armed with automatic rifles, camera body armor, fully decked out? That means they're dressed and they're telling neighbors, you better get inside. You don't want to see this, which means there's going to be blood.
Hey, Tom.
For what? Why am I
being
hauled off in the middle of the night? Hauled off in the middle of the night by 5 SWAT team members. Why? Why? What did I do? Nothing. I made dinner for my son. I took care of my mom at one point when this happened, and I was doing interviews.
Yeah.
So they're doing a way to put you away, and there's no processing. You're in it for the criminally insane because of the word of a paid off, well-rewarded sister bragging of the reward she gets from a congressman who's a lifelong FBI operative. That's how bad this gets. And what can we do about it? We can say enough as a group, as a family. We can testify for each other that, we're of sound mind. We're good people. We have accomplished stuff. We have rewards for our work. It's like we have no criminal record. And this is how they're getting away with this loophole of what's called 302s.
Yep.
302s. Anytime, and they get the right person to pay them off, give them credentials. My sister's an unlicensed elementary school counselor. She's at the lowest rung in the psych field, unlicensed. Yet she gets away with this. Anytime she dials it in, SWAT team's there. I have no process, no due process. Hauled off. And she brags that she's never going to stop and brags about the reward.
Well, guess what? We're never going to stop.
We're never going to stop. But we got them now. It's gonna all break apart now. It's not to bring a downer on this, but it's going to break apart. So what's interesting is if you're a couple, if you're a really cool man and woman together, they can't do the 302s because the wife in this case would be like, no, Tom hasn't done anything. They can't get around a husband-wife together, the 302 you. You have to be isolated to push the crazy card. But if I'm with the wife, like I was with Otika when I wrote the screenplay, and we're happy, and Aiden's happy, they can't send a 302 because your best witness is your partner. And it's like, no way. He hasn't done this. They can't pull it off. So that's why they're making a lot of people single that are accomplished. They tried to do it to Martin Luther King. The FBI actually did it to Martin Luther King. They sent tapes to his wife to convince him that Martin Luther King was having an affair, to break up the marriage so they can isolate him. Yeah. That was the FBI.
Yep. And the FBI works with the CIA.
Yes, they do. They work together. And Hollywood.
But at the same time, say if this alphabet soup takes you in, they won't share information with the other one.
No,
They will target that person and do the same.
But
test. It's
that's
horrible.
right.
The book, The Man Who Fell to Earth. I just read it. I cried because you know what? We're over here as shooting stars helping.
well, yeah,
Don't
but
do this shit.
here's something good. The Changeling that had Angelina Jolie in it. The Changeling was about an LA situation where her son is taken abducted and they bring her a different boy and claim it's hers and then put her in a psych ward, 302 her, because she's claiming this isn't my son.
They do that in the program.
But listen to this. In the movie, since Holly was connected to the FBI and CIA, they put all my stuff in it. In
Right.
fact, the wife's name is Northcutt. The honeypot wife I had was named Northcutt. And they have everything there with the birthday and everything in the film. The clock has the birthdays on it. So they put all my stuff. Hollywood knows about my stuff. So they put it all in the Changeling about 302s and separating from your son and naming the person Northcutt. That's my wife's name.
That's
The
horrible.
honeypot wife that I have. Hollywood is bragging while the FBI and CIA do this. So they're bragging. They're like little kids letting it be known out to the public. It's all through Men in the High Castle. It's all
Yes.
through, like I said.
We're talking about that too, Tom.
Yeah, it's all there. It's all there. The what is it? The Good Place. The Good Place has my son's name. Like I said, Sean, Michael are the two bad characters that rule the afterworld. Sean and Michael. My son's name was Sean Michael. The birthday of the main character is October 14, 1982. My son was born October 14, 1982. Sean Michael. There it is. They put it in the films because they're all fans of the work that I wrote. That's why I'm targeted so heavy. That's why they would do this too. They would hit us all with the ear thing. So we would get on the air and say, hey, I had that too. And they're going, yeah.
You know what
Plausible
they try to
deniability.
do? They try to give me a full-on migraine so that I wouldn't do the show. And
I almost couldn't do your show either.
I'm like, oh, hell no. They're doing this on purpose. Today is 08/04/2022. I picked this date specifically to have this show, Tom. Remember? Has a lot of
Yep.
two, a lot of mirrors.
Well, you beat them. We all beat them because we're all here.
And guess what? August the 12th.
Oh,
If you're available August the 12th, let's do another show. You know what that
Sounds
is.
good to me. Sounds good to me. The thing, yeah, we beat them. We beat them today and they're crumbling. They're falling apart because they're all about power, they said, all about power. And the thing is, if they aren't able to achieve through their power, that means they don't have the power. And they've already said that we have won the chess game. We have the power. And with that, the very work itself is going to be reclaimed. It's going to happen. They threw it through their own attorneys. That's why you see he lost his case. But it's all going to turn around now. And I'm the guy that understands all the work, from the Neuralink to the Jackson to the train station scene, why it's there, little girl, the red pill, blue pill, the little ending, why she's pointing at the sun. I'm the guy that wrote it. I know, and it precedes the Matrix. So the Wachowskis don't even understand it. Even the Suits didn't understand it. Joel
Right.
Silver
That's
didn't
when they
understand
messed
it.
up on the third one. It was horrible. Oh,
The fourth one was just being done to cash in
The
before
fourth
we
one,
came
yeah.
forward. That's what they said. They cashed in and they wrote from the world that Tom created, they said. So they wrote from the world that was supposed to protect it by writing from the world of it. And so they stuck in stuff from Warner Bros. And everything else. It didn't make any sense because they're trying to cash in. They knew people would go. Plus, they're trying to use up the rest of the story so nobody comes sees the original when it's done. They're definitely afraid of the screenplay I've held up being actually made the way it is, because then people are going to get it because the copyright precedes them. So they're going to be like blown away by what it actually means with Jack's the Neck, train station scene, little girl, liquid mirrors, pointing the sun, squiddies, underground, you name it, it's all there, red pill, blue pill.
Sweetie.
So yeah, so we've got them, they know it, we've lasted, and so they do an ear bang. That's like their
Oh.
fireworks going off. They're trying to do something to be clever. They're desperately trying to be clever. They're actually just spoiled little boys and girls that are picking their nose and don't know what to do, and they're freaking out when they have all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
But they know there's an accountability coming. They don't want to be revealed. They don't
You
want to be.
guys, I recommend this movie, Tom. Thank you. The Magicians. I'm watching it again because I rented it from the library. I had seen it on Netflix and now it makes more sense because we are here for such a time as this to change
Perfect time.
the timelines. And right now, it could be that we're stuck in a loop trying to get this world not to go, right?
Oh, it's gonna be-
However,
it's
if
gonna
it
be-
does, I'm good, baby. I don't need to
It's
go
gonna be
through no
easy.
wormhole.
Yeah.
No
It's gonna
new
be-
earth,
it's
baby.
like-
I am the new earth.
Yeah. Well, it's like flipping a switch right now. They know it's over. They've even said it's over. You've won the chess game. It's over. There's no denying the material we have. Apparently did it right, was anal about it. The copyrights, the registrations, the sharing it, the posting it, protecting it, all there, and the research. And it scares them trashless. It's like they are just destroyed. And what's making their irking the most is they had recruited me and groomed me to be theirs. And I said, no.
Same here.
I even have the card. I still have the FBI card. Please extend every courtesy to Tom Malthouse. That went out the deal. That's going to be held up in the documentary too. I still have the card they gave me over dinner with FBI heads when I was being groomed by Pat Robertson to be the face of the Christian Coalition. So there's the FBI taking me to dinner and giving me a card. And I still have the card. Please extend every courtesy to Tom Malthouse. So this is going to be an amazing ending. And we have won. There's no way around it. We just need a fair venue and for the public to understand what's going on. And now I'm saying, people are saying they're blue pilled now instead of red pilled. Blue pill is the good pill, the author's eye. Red pill is the bad pill based on the blood of the children to do growth hormones experiment, to do a program that lasts forever where you have renewed youth. And that brings a one world society by inviting you into that red pill program. The red pill was a bad pill in the original work, and they take it and make it a good pill. So everybody says they're red pilled. The blue pill is the good pill. The blue pill is Underground's pill that is from the eye of the author. The blue pill is good, the red is bad. They invert it when they stole it. So everybody says they're red pilled. Red pill is the blood of the children. It's bad.
That's why I always get confused about that. Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, blue pill's good. That's what it was. I had to come up with it on the fly when I was writing, and I had to come up with an idea. Well, how do you enter the program? I don't like getting shots. Shots hurt. I don't like them. I admit it. He was a grown man. So when I'm flowing, when that flow, creative flow we talk about was going, I'm like, pills, blue pill. Okay, blue pill. Blue pill's Underground pill.
I just took them both, and then I'm like, I'm done with the pill popping.
Yeah. But the thing is now people are trying to say the blue pill's bad, red pill's bad. No, the blue pill was good. It was a concept of Underground trying to infiltrate and get rid of what's going on for the one world society to make it a good society. So the blue pill was the only way they could access the program. That's why they had a blue pill. It wasn't offered at the same time. It makes no sense. Morpheus going, here's a red pill and a blue pill. Pick which one you want. That's stupid. That's Alice in Wonderland, cookies and milk. Eat me, drink me. But what they mixed that in as they made up as they went along with the script. It's supposed to be you're only offered the red pill, and then the blue pill's offered when you're in Underground, but it has painful side effects. It makes so much sense when you put it back the way it was without juvenile minds stealing it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Alice in Wonderland is very important, and Alice is also in The Magician. Okay.
Well, they keep mixing it in. They mix in things with work they take too. Yes. And that's why the Wachowski stuck in the Train Man from Ghost, Alice in Wonderland, all this other stuff was made because they had my script in hand, I'm told, by the fight choreographer who contacted me. Paul Martin contacted me and said that it was used on set with the storyboard in the other hand, where they had all the images they lifted they thought were cool and made it up as they went along. And now they admit they made it up as they went along with Matrix 4. So they have the original script with the scenes all marked, lifted out, and simplified. And that's why they twisted it with mixing in what they're familiar with, Alice in Wonderland, Train Man from Ghost, things like this, which made nothing to make the story propel. It ripped it apart and ruined it. And then he said, let audiences figure it out for themselves. We've got them, and it's going to be art that makes us free. It's going to be art and more creative work, and then every person's going to own the work. We're giving the copyright to every single person on this planet except the ones that stole it. And they can then create their own versions, and we'll celebrate their work. That's what it's supposed to be.
That's what it's supposed to be.
That everybody keeps creating. And if they have an idea what the Matrix is supposed to mean, you create it too. It's your right. I give it to you. That's what it's supposed to be, because we're supposed to create more and more creative work, lift the ceiling what's possible. And so that's going to encourage other artists to do too. It's not me, me, me. It's all of us together. And that's what intellectual property is supposed to do. Inspire more creativity, not own it and put a lid on it and seal it away and don't touch it. No, create your work, get your ideas going. That's why I left a lot of the backstory out, so that people can fill it in themselves. They can create their own work out of it and fill in their own personal life into the missing gaps, so it becomes their story. And then out of that becomes new creative work from their personal lives and their story, because each of their stories matter.
I am so grateful, Tom, that you wrote it, because when I first saw The Matrix, this was before I had the Grand Awakening, right? I was like confused. I'm like, what the?
Well, sure you were. Sure you were. You
Then,
can't get it. You cannot get the meanings from what they did because they didn't understand it.
right.
They
And
made
then
six
when the
generations.
guy came
They
out,
made six generations of Zion. It's only supposed to be one. And then they go on their fan page and say, oh, the fans are right. They taught us that it should have been one. Yes, it should have been one. Take it from the original author. Because the architect knows where the Zion is, because he put Zion there, because he needs untainted humanity to come out and see him come back as a historic figure that is conditioned to give their free will over to him.
okay, talking
That's
about
what it is.
that, Tom, real quick.
Hmm.
Okay. So the again, the video that I sent you guys, okay? You mentioned Zion, the chosen one, right?
Right.
Guess what?
Hmm.
You know Moloch?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, child sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
And now with this Roe versus Wade,
Mm-hmm.
it's like more quiet now, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
You know where Jerusalem is?
Mm-hmm.
You know what that was before?
Mm-hmm.
Moloch's altar. They call it hell. The God in the Bible calls it hell.
Mm-hmm.
Hell on
They
earth.
remade the temple.
This whole movement with Jerusalem, keep an eye on. Keep all three
Well,
eyes.
they just remade the temple, the inner sanctuary of the temple.
Yep.
And they had all these dignitaries that are pretty dark, dressed up and going to that
There's
restructured
a
temple.
Stargate there.
Yeah, they redid it. They redid it. And it's creepy as hell
Yep.
because they've redone it, claiming that aspect. And that's what the original screenplay Became Matrix is about too, about how man tries to outwit God, or what you will, by imitating their doing the imitation of what God did. And so they're doing it and reconstructing it, even faking the second coming. That's what it's supposed to be, to get our free will. That's what it's all about.
Yes, Project
So
Blue
now the
Beam.
message is coming out. Yeah.
Project Blue Beam. So don't believe every UFO that's out there, because some of it's our military, 2 or 3.
And you know, Tom, I just wanted to say, I didn't get a chance to say this when we had the last show you were on. But actually, I went to the Matrix. I remember going into the movie theater, and I got about as far as when Neo wakes up in the pod, and I got severely sick. I had to like jump up. I had to go to the bathroom. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm gonna throw up or what's gonna happen, but I got super sick.
I did too. Yeah.
I had to stay in there. And when I came back, I was like, my husband at the time was like, are you okay? And it was like, I don't know what it was, but I just got really sick. And to me, it was like, I stayed and they let me stay for a little bit to watch what I had missed. And I was like, it was crazy.
It was nausea. Yes, it creates nausea. The way they did it creates nausea. And you're right. That scene actually is when they have Neo waking up in the pod and stuff. It's actually supposed to be the architect bringing back his top 100 in our time, testing on test subjects in pods, a field of pods, where they're wired like that and spewing up and things like this, because they're testing to bring back who physically match their primaries. And so that's what it is. They took the field of pods and turned and lifted it, simplified it, and made Neo waking up in a pod. Neo is brought in a pod back, but the thing is, that's later. Originally, it's the field of pods with the architect bringing back his top 100 from that stasis, and they're one by one test subjects that match them physically are being treated cruelly and being brought back in that kind of nausea kind of situation with the spewing and the fluids and everything. And so they're not cared about. They're just being discarded after they're brought back to test the bringing back process. That's the field of pods. And so you see how they lift all these things out and simplify it and make it stupid. And it's like they even had the thing where in that scene where Neo's coming back, when they're filming it, they have his face in blue reflected on the machine. In the original work, you see the faces of the victims reflected in blue off the machines. Everything's the same. They wanted everything the same. The reason they made Animatrix is because they wanted to use anything from the rest of the story they didn't use from the script, as they made it up and went along with a storyboard in one hand with all the scenes they're lifting, screenplay in the other. And that's why the 20-foot rule, if you're in 20 feet, you're fired on set. 20-foot rule. You're not supposed to see my screenplay in hand. And so what happens is they make Animatrix when they're done shooting at the same time, when they're shooting Matrix 2 and 3 installments in Australia. They shoot Animatrix with all the different scenes that weren't used from the work from the original screenplay into shorts, including my final sequence. That's why there's an Animatrix. And the last one is so wild because I pitched the Dream movie. I call it the Dream movie while I pitched Matrix 1. That's why they have Neo flying. Neo's not supposed to fly in the original Matrix. He's supposed to be like you and me, fallible, fish out of water. How's he going to survive? If he flies and has these superpowers, the reason they did that, they mixed Superman in because in the Dream movie I pitched at the same time, our character's done experiments on where he learns to survive in his dreams by flying.
Mhm.
And that's why they put it into Inception. And so what happens in one of the last scenes in the Dream movie that I pitched at the same time was that he sees his friend back in a dream who had been mutilated prior. And this mutilated image is talking to him going like, Jim, what's wrong? What's wrong? And he believes in his dream state that if he touches him, he can heal him. He says, don't worry, John, I'm going to just, he touches him and the guy freaks out. This mangled thing freaks out, screaming, yelling. They put that as the last scene in the Animatrix in the last of the series. They put the robot putting the girl who's dead back in the dream and touches her and she freaks out. That's my Dream movie.
It's
Right in
crazy.
there. They took every single concept, ruined it for the public, instead of making it so it advances our civilization and people. I'm passionate about this. That's my baby. That's for a world, a gift to the world, with a tech and everything in it. I'm passionate about it. You can see a passionate side here. But it's like instead of that, they ruined it so they can change sex and be proud of themselves because they failed as writers in Hollywood. They have robbed an entire world and generations of what is supposed to inspire everybody and allow them to do creative work and our children too. Damn the Wachowskis and Joel Silver and Warner Brothers and the FBI and the CIA that just took everything from our people because they believe we're assets and they believe that anything we own is theirs because it's a matter of national security. So anything you own creatively is theirs ultimately because they're going to use that because you're an asset. They don't see you as sovereign. They see you as their property. So anything you own is theirs.
Yeah, but I ain't giving them no
Right.
cash flow. They're not making any money.
They're done for. They're done for. The first thing I'm going to do when I get credit back is try to see the FBI dismantled, the CIA dismantled,
DARPA.
war crime trials, crimes against humanity. I want them on trial. And also, we're going to change the legal system. No statute of limitations anymore. No latches for intellectual property when families or
Okay.
fathers or mothers have written property like Eve, right? And if a corporation steals it, there is no statute of limitation because they've learned to ruin your life and to kill your sons and daughters, take away your job, make you homeless in order to ruin your time that you can make claim. And then they say you slept on your rights. They'll say you didn't refile in 3 years, therefore you don't have any rights. No more statute of limitations on intellectual property when major firms are involved robbing families. No more. And that's going to you watch Hollywood wake up when that happens. When it's announced no more statute of limitations on intellectual property. If you were robbed by major corporations, you're going back to court and you're going to have due process. And you watch how fast Hollywood falls. And you watch how fast FBI and CIA are turned on by Hollywood. And you watch this world turn around, starting with this country. And that's how we're going to solve this world. Is right to the courts that have been bought and used and they made it into business. They actually believe that it's more profitable to rip off a family of their intellectual property because if you make it through somehow, when you get a court case somehow and you actually win, then the fraction they're paying you in a settlement is nothing compared to the profits they made and they call it good business. That's one of the rational legal arguments we're going to make. I studied pre-law. We're going to solve this problem and make it right for writers that Eve and others don't have to go through this anymore. And I have a passion about it so strong because our children are involved in this. We're going to win back our very right to create and have it safe. And I'm very passionate about it.
Yes.
Very passionate.
And
Yes, thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
done with them targeting our children too.
It's not going to happen anymore. It's going to be done. And they already said, like I said, they're afraid of your power. Okay, great. They said, you won the chess game, Tom. What? Because I hold them. Yeah, it's not just the Matrix I hold the copyright to. It's also Interstellar, Oblivion, Sense8, Altered Carbon.
Sense8?
On and on. Yes, Sense8 is from me.
Oh my
They
God.
did Sense8 in
I love
2014.
that one.
In 2014, they threw my case. And that's when immediately the Wachowskis announced doing Sense8. And they said, it's too big to write down. And they had to deal with Netflix. They said right away, $1 million deal without writing anything down. because they had just within a week had my case thrown, had all my notes through discovery, and announced Sense 8 about the people having the feelings and connections, all that stuff. That's
Well, thank you for writing that, Tom, because
welcome.
when I watched that one, I stopped calling myself higher self or asking anything outside
Well,
of
it's through the stolen mind, though. That's stolen work. Yeah.
the altars are all mine. They're all,
It's stolen work. It's stolen work. Wait till you see the way it's originally supposed to be.
I can't wait.
The Sense 8, yes, they didn't understand it until they had all my
We gotta
notes.
get together and like,
Yeah, we will get together. But it's like their attorney had a suspended license, like I said, so he throws the case, but they got all my discovery. They got all my drafts and scripts, and they're on tape saying they don't have any working drafts at all. There's no working drafts of the Matrix. There's none. Their attorney's on tape saying it. So they just totally went off my work and didn't even try to write a script until after they shot the film. They wrote down what they had. So there's no working drafts. So the thing is that we've got them so big on the biggest copyright case in the world's ever
we
seen.
got them by the balls.
Yeah, and then you'll see it done right. That's what, it's wait till you see. Wait till you
All
see.
right, I want in. Definitely.
It's sad.
Count me in on this.
You
Go
got
ahead.
it. You got it. We're gonna
Yes.
form studios. We're talking about forming studios after the documentary too, and we're gonna allow people to tell their stories and no more of this Hollywood garbage
Thank
filtering
you.
where they're throwing garbage in all the time. These Hollywood moguls are fat in the system that are not needed. The Joel Silvers, the Eisners, the Mike Langs, the Harvey Weinsteins, none of them, Spielberg they call them. We don't need them.
Yep.
They're in the way of creativity.
Yep.
We're going to have creativity without the clowns messing it up because they have no idea what they're talking about.
No
They don't
more
know anything
taking,
about
no
it.
more taking our children. No more.
No more. And that
And
goes for
thank you
James
for saying
Cameron
that,
too.
Tom.
James Cameron was going to be involved in the theft this time too. They're not bright people. They're spoiled, rotten, lollipopping, sucking kids. So yeah.
Exactly. No more. No more. I reject all that they're doing.
Time for the people that actually have the smarts to make the films.
Yeah.
So
It's
that's
so
it.
cool that you said that because I always tell people, right, Kelly? Hey, it's about telling your story. Eve,
Mhm.
when we started talking, hey, it's about telling your story on my show. It's not about me. It's about you. It's about all of us, helping one another. And I don't like to use the word help, right? Because then people want something in return, right? But no.
Yeah.
But it's like if we just come together and like we're doing now more often and we'll engage other people, because how does the hive mind work,
I say in layers.
right?
Yeah. And the
people
passion, we
that
don't
can.
lose our passion. We have to hold on to our passion for life, for each other, for creative work. Passion is the fuel for great work that causes passion in others. You've got to have that spark to create a spark. And it's like, you can't lose that. And that's what our society is doing, is trying to take that away. Trying to say passion is scary. Passion makes you awkward, makes you stand out in a natural way. We're supposed to present ourselves as placid and just, boring, really. It's like, no, let's be vibrant. Let's be dynamic. Let's shake the bottle. Let's not be, just
Take
the
the
fly.
genie in the bottle, right? She sings. Anyway, I did
Just
meet
sing.
someone that you're talking about this, Tom. I have to thank you for reminding me because I was going to say it earlier, but right now I think it's the perfect time. I met someone at the Goodwill like a month and a half ago, and I was looking for stamps because I do junk journals and wine bottles, all that stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, I found the stamps for the space NASA stuff that I was making for the junk journal. And the lady heard me. You need stamps, creative stamps. I have so many I can give you. I used to sell them. I'm like, what? So we started talking. I finally got a chance to go meet her. She is so creative. She makes so many things. So much. She has a warehouse full. Oh my gosh, this lady is a genius. And I got more inspired by her artwork. Anything is art. I learned from her that I don't have to judge myself. If one eyeball comes out crooked on the genie in the bottle, it's okay. It's a one eye. You can't judge your work.
That's right.
You got to just let it flow.
Well, that's the thing too. The media is going to change, where we're going to have media where we're going to actually show all this different art. People actually have the passion and compassion, is going to show their work instead of them filtering and having it all sterilized. We're actually going to see it in a vibrant media soon. I think Corey has to go, but yeah.
Okay, Corey, thank you for being on, and your last words, and we'll end it now, and then we'll be back on the 12th. Thank you.
Yeah, I really love and appreciate you guys. And Veryl and Tom, I'll be in touch pretty quick just to follow up on a couple things.
Okay, fair enough.
Thank you so much.
You got it.
Thank you, Corey. Who's next?
Thank you.
Tell everybody how they can get a hold of you. Corey, I'll give them your phone number.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I mean, no problem. Okay, who wants to go next? Andrew, I want to hear from you. And how can they get a hold of you also? Your last
I
words.
can
I'm just
go.
kidding. It's not your last words. It's only the beginning.
I also want to make one more comment. Tom brought up the trans thing, and I just want to say, because that's another thing that I've heard like a lot of people talking about lately, and we could have a whole show about all of that. But I think it's definitely a tactic that actually that they are using to divide us, because I mean, people like Veronica has mentioned about our DNA, that we have the X and the Y, and that we both were male and female, and that goes back to ancient societies, and indigenous cultures honor that. So I just want to mention that. But you can find me on Insta now at Andrew, and then it's underscore, and then it's llama seed, so like star seed, but llama seed, and then another underscore. And then from there you can see my link tree and whatever social. So thanks for having me on, and thanks for everyone that watched, and hopefully it was helpful.
Yay.
It was. Thank you, Andrew. And if you'd like to be on the next show with Tom and myself and whoever else wants to be on at 12 o'clock, the 12th of August, because we know what happens with Cyrus B and AC ends with the Crowley, the Saturn, the Nephilims and Saturn. You know what they're trying to do. So anyway, that's a very special date that we're going to use.
I would love to, and we're in Lionsgate too. So
I know.
This is
Yep. Time to manifest. Thank you, Andrew. Kelly Covey.
Oh, thank you for having me on here. This is thrilling, getting to learn all kinds of things from all kinds of people. So getting ready for my 30-day manifestation challenge on Monday. I'm excited about that. So this is like really good timing. So yeah, thank you for having me on here
Kelly,
and
tell people what is
just letting me, babble from my point of view.
Tell them, Kelly, what is a 30-day and how they get a hold of you?
What? I'm sorry.
Tell them what is your 30-day challenge and how they get a hold of you, and how the cost, whatever. It's your turn.
Oh, sure. Oh, sorry about that. If you go to kellyphoenix.com, you can find the VIP membership and the premium membership. I've got it for all economic issues. we've got you able to join on that. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just 30 days, takes about 6 weeks, 6-7 weeks to go through Monday through Friday, and it's a complete and total change in your perspective for a period of time. We're going from like the God bubble type perspective of I created this, and going through 30 days of training yourself to look from that perspective. But it's so life changing on the personal development side and psychic development side, and also the manifesting is absolutely incredible in this manifestation challenge. So you guys join me. It's really a good class for anything. Doesn't matter what your goals are in life. This is going to help you to get there. So thank you for having me on.
Thank you, Kelly. And Eve, you're next, please.
Yep, thanks for having me on. I was going to say that one of the things before the show ended, I had noticed something on Tuesday, that there was like some sort of a strange time seeming to be like slowing down, and then it was speeding up, and it was slowing down, and it started speeding up again. And I was doing like 5 minutes in my head, and I'm really good at doing this for some reason. And I would notice that it was only going 4 minutes. And then I looked again, and then it was even going 3 minutes. And then I looked at it again, and it was like 20 minutes. So I was like, this is not right. We're doing some sort of an energy thing right now, and we're going through something. I don't know if it was something to do with what happened a couple of Mondays ago, when a certain company turned on something that they probably shouldn't have been messing with, and that's what a lot of the weird stuff that we've been going through the last month. And it's only going to get weirder. And one of the things is the transit of the planets, and where we're going through right now, we're going through this like massive energy, and a lot of some species cannot be here on this planet where we're going through this area. So just keep in mind, you know,
Eve, it's because they're mating seasons. Like dolphins, they can only mate in certain times, and either they're gonna help us. I know they're gonna help us. I already had a talk with them. Was we kind of threatened them? Well, you know what? You're not gonna be able to mate anymore if you know.
So, I mean, this is the perfect time, Tom, for you to start this project. And I'm seeing a lot of good, positive gold energy around you right now. And I just want to be a part of it because, you know, I have this great idea. And then the previous book that I wrote before, and actually I just finished up my degree about the criminal justice system. So I'm well aware of exactly what is the weak points and where it needs to be changed in every single.
Nice, very nice, very
So
nice.
definitely, I think I sent you an email, and please, you know, just send me any ideas that you have. I do have a couple more questions regarding your screenplay, and I didn't get a chance to send it. So, you know, thank you so much for being here. But you can definitely, anybody that wants to reach out to me can reach out to me on Facebook. You can find me, Eve Howard, or Rising Spirit is on Facebook. Or Rising Spirit is also on Instagram. I am Evie Schmeeby, and I should have definitely got something a little bit more simpler, but it's EVIESCHMIVIE, and you can find me and message me. Let me know. You know, I'm out here. I'm here for this very specific time for help. And I just want to reach out to people that definitely need assistance in any type of spiritual, because I have so many guides and they tell me stuff, and I have so many messages for everybody. So if you can reach out to me, that'd be great. I'd appreciate it. So thanks for having me on, sister. I love you.
My twin. I love you too. Guess what? On Monday, I was like, oh my gosh, it's Friday. I didn't know it was Monday. I lived Monday the whole day up until 6 o'clock, maybe 6:30. And I had to go to an AT&T store. I didn't want to, but my thing broke for the cell phone thing. The connector broke inside the phone. I'm like, I don't want to go to Circle K. Those are cheap. So I had to, you know, go. And I'm like, oh, so what are you doing today? I said, oh, it's Friday. I don't know. I might want to go somewhere, maybe with my sister or something. And then he's like, it's not Friday, it's Monday. I'm like, and Tuesday felt like a Saturday. And the same thing happened to me, Ev, at the gym. The clocks were all wrong when this CERN came up. All wrong. And I have two watches, and the other one, right? And they were all either they were 15 minutes before or 10 minutes ahead. The thing on my vehicle too, the clock on the vehicle, I'm like, they're trying to change time. Okay, they're trying to go back in time, like Back to the Future, because they want to save their butts, but they're upset because Project Looking Glass only gives them one answer, and you know what that answer is. They don't like it.
They don't like it.
And we're going back to our home, baby.
Yep.
We're going back. After we're done here, we're going back. We're not going to stay on Earth. We're not going to stay on Mars. We're not going to stay in the virtual reality either. Anyway, you all know where to find me. I will write everybody's information down after the video uploads, like tonight, okay, because it should upload in about 2 hours or so, maybe less. But I usually write things down later because I have to go do stuff. But I always give credit to, you know, you can find this person there, la 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 la. If I can't fit all your name, because YouTube only gives you a little space, I'll put your initials, but I will have everything down in the comments, okay? So thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you all. I thought today was just gonna be Tom and I, which is fine. Tom and I can go for hours talking. But it was cool. It was a surprise. Callie had written it down. Eve last night said, yeah, I'm gonna be there. And Andrew, like 10 minutes before the show, I'm on. You know, Corey this morning, yeah, I'm gonna be on. Chad couldn't be on because he had to work. So thank you so much, guys. I love you. And have a great day.
Thanks.